The hypocrisy of Team Biden and the radical left is on constant display. By my count, the United States has taken in just 7 Ukrainian refugees. 7. Our European allies have taken in tens of thousands as 3.1 million people flee Ukraine. I think Poland's up over 1 million now. So following Joe Biden's disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal, he literally put tens of thousands of unvetted potential terrorists on planes and shipped them here by the thousands. So why wouldn't we help the very people that fit the exact definition of asylum seekers, the Ukrainians? Why wouldn't we be helping them if we're going to help the Afghanis? So Team Biden has welcomed in millions of illegals during the southern border invasion he created, many under the ruse of an asylum claim. But when it comes to Ukraine, white, Christian, well-educated, and highly skilled refugees are apparently not welcome here. Why? My assumption is they don't fit the mold of uneducated, poverty-stricken, welfare seekers whose votes can be bought once amnesty is granted to them from the Democrats. Instead, these Ukrainian refugees not only speak English, but most of them have family here. It is believed that there are hundreds of Ukrainians right now south of our border. Team Biden is refusing to allow them in. So instead of actually helping many of these war-torn victims, what do? Well, we do what Congress does best. We spend more money. $13.6 billion in aid for Ukraine in the latest budget. Checks and balances as to how that money will be spent, of course, I'm sure will be non-existent. But we're supposed to trust Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi on it all.
President Biden has done a masterful job in managing this situation in a way that is collaborative, not condescending or dictating, but collaborative. The unity of the G7, not only the G7, but the NATO alliance has been remarkable to behold.
She's completely out to lunch. She's delusional. She's been hanging around with Joe Biden way too long. A masterful job? We wouldn't even be in this situation if it weren't for Joe Biden. What else are we doing, though, by the way, folks? Here's what we're doing. We're going to pretend that broken down Polish MiG jet fighters will somehow be the Ukrainians' holy grail to victory. It allows lawmakers to feel good about themselves, writing checks and giving away planes. Planes, by the way, that are in desperate need of repair. Send them over there, I don't care, but it's not going to get Ukraine to victory. Here's what will work. Military training, lots of weapons, those javelins, for instance. Military training, though, is big. During 4 years of President Trump's term, not only did he supply Ukraine with much-needed weaponry, like those anti-tank javelin missiles, but he also allowed for a covert CIA mission to continue in Ukraine focused on training the Ukrainian military on really, specifically how to fight the Russians. I am convinced that training has helped squash Russian advances so far. So once again, in the months leading up to the Russian invasion of Ukraine, 6 former intelligence officials tell Yahoo News that Team Biden pulled those covert CIA operatives out of the country. Another bad decision in a long line of bad decisions by Joe Biden. See, CIA agents are not the military. They operate under the radar, covert. Putin would have never known they were even there. That's how good they are. And instead of throwing billions of dollars at a country with a long history of financial mismanagement, it would be far cheaper to have left that secret CIA program in place.